Imagine a world where the familiar warmth of summer becomes a distant memory. If a new ice age began tomorrow, subtly at first, the first sign wouldn't be dramatic glaciers overnight, but a summer that feels incomplete, a subtle shift in the seasons. Cooler, shorter, a fleeting glimpse of what it once was and less intense, a sun that struggles to break through the persistent cloud cover. In northern regions, the harbingers of change would be even more pronounced. Snow would linger longer each year, defying the warmth that should melt it away, until some patches, stubbornly clinging to the high peaks and shaded valleys, never melt at all, a constant reminder of the encroaching cold. This marks the tipping point, a delicate balance disrupted when more snow falls in winter, blanketing the landscape in a thick, insulating layer, then melts in summer. The brief thaw unable to keep pace with the relentless accumulation. The scales have tipped, the threshold crossed, the ice age has begun, slowly but surely. The accumulating snow reflects sunlight, bouncing it back into the atmosphere, cooling the planet further, a dangerous cycle, a self-reinforcing spiral downwards. This is a feedback loop that accelerates glaciation, a runaway train hurtling towards a frozen future. Oceans would cool, their vastness no match for the encroaching ice. Sea ice would expand, gripping the polar regions in an icy embrace, and weather patterns would shift dramatically, throwing the world's climate into disarray. Jet streams would move south, carrying frigid air and turbulent storms, bringing colder, wetter weather, a relentless chill that seeps into everything, to once temperate regions, transforming familiar landscapes into something unrecognizable. Monsoons might falter, their life-giving rains becoming unreliable and scarce. Droughts could strike, parching the land and leaving communities struggling for survival. Growing seasons would shrink, pushing agriculture to its limits. Farmers would struggle with unpredictable frosts, nipping crops in the bud and threatening food supplies and shorter harvests, leaving less to feed a growing population. Tourism would decline as the allure of warm beaches and sunny skies fades away as summers grow cloudier and colder, offering little respite from the encroaching chill. Governments and scientists would debate, grappling with the implications of these changes. Is this a blip, a temporary fluctuation, or the start of something bigger, something irreversible? The world would watch the snowline creep lower each year, a visual testament to the changing climate, a silent white tide rising, slowly but inexorably claiming more and more of the land. Life would continue, people adapting as they always have, but unease would grow, a nagging feeling that something fundamental has shifted. The Great Freeze would be underway, its icy grip tightening on the planet before most realized it, a slow-motion catastrophe unfolding before their very eyes. Decades pass and cool summers become the new normal. Permanent snowfields and highlands merge into growing ice caps, the seeds of continental glaciers. Under immense pressure, the ice flows outward, slowly but relentlessly. Winters stretch for most of the year. Permafrost locks the ground, making farming and building nearly impossible. Massive high-pressure systems form over the ice, altering global winds and creating vast dusty plains at the ice's edge. Forests are crushed, hills ground down, and valleys deepened by the advancing ice. The land beneath the ice sinks, while areas at the edge bulge upward, reshaping continents. Cities like Toronto, Oslo, and Moscow become uninhabitable, then vanish beneath the glacier. Populations flee south, triggering a global migration crisis. The map of human settlement is redrawn, not by war, but by the unstoppable advance of ice. The world is transformed, one frozen step at a time. After 1,000 years, Earth is unrecognizable. Two colossal ice sheets dominate the northern hemisphere, burying cities and forests beneath miles of ice. Sea levels drop by over 100 meters, exposing new land bridges and coastlines. The English Channel and North Sea become grassy plains. Asia and North America connect once more. South of the ice, polar deserts and tundra stretch for miles, while boreal forests replace today's temperate zones. The Mediterranean cools and grows wetter. Rainforests shrink, replaced by grasslands. The world is a patchwork of extremes, blinding white ice, dusty plains, and deep blue skies. The air is cleaner, the stars brighter, and silence reigns over the frozen continents. Only the wind, the groan of glaciers, and the crash of icebergs break the stillness. Earth has returned to a more primal, majestic state. The new ice age triggers a crisis for life: adapt, migrate, or perish. Many species face extinction as habitats shrink and fragment. Coral reefs vanish, rainforests lose their diversity, yet life is resilient. Animals and plants migrate south, chasing warmth and new habitats. Herds of deer, bison, and wild horses roam the expanding steppes, followed by predators. New ecological rivalries emerge as northern and southern species collide. Cold-adapted animals, muskox, caribou, Arctic fox, thrive and expand their ranges. Evolution favors larger, shaggier creatures. New megafauna may emerge to fill the void left by mammoths. Forests migrate slowly, replaced by mosaics of hardy trees, shrubs, and grasslands. Only the toughest plants survive the brutal winters and short summers. Ecosystems are torn apart and rebuilt, forging new webs of life. The world becomes a laboratory of adaptation and survival. Nature's creativity is tested as never before. For humanity, a new ice age is the ultimate test far beyond any crisis we've faced. Our civilization is built on warmth and stability. The advancing ice would render vast regions uninhabitable. Billions would be displaced, creating a refugee crisis on a scale never seen. The first response? Denial, panic, and desperate attempts to halt the ice futile against such power. Survival would demand adaptation and global cooperation. Borders would blur, fertile lands in the south would become the world's most contested resource. Technology would be our lifeline, vertical farms, insulated cities, and geothermal energy would sustain us. Society would shift from growth to survival with smaller, self-sufficient communities. Long-distance trade would dwindle, ancient skills, hunting, preserving food, building shelters, would return. Humanity would become tougher, more resilient, and more connected to nature's harsh realities. It might feel like regression, but it could also be a new kind of progress. The ice would force us to rethink what it means to survive and thrive. As ice sheets advance, surface cities in the north become obsolete. The solution? Go underground. Subterranean cities, carved into rock or mountainsides, would shield people from the brutal cold. Geothermal energy would provide heat and power. Hydroponic farms would grow food in vast caverns. Water would come from subglacial lakes or melted ancient ice. Life underground would be highly organized, with every citizen playing a vital role. Surface expeditions would be rare and dangerous, braving hurricane winds and lethal cold. For most, the frozen world above would be as alien as another planet. For those outside high-tech underground cities, survival is a daily struggle. Agriculture is a gamble, short seasons, unpredictable weather, and constant threat of crop failure. Food preservation, smoking, drying, salting, becomes essential for enduring long winters. Energy is life. Communities cluster around fuel sources, managing forests or burning peat and dung. Homes are built for insulation, often underground or banked with earth. Travel and communication regress. Roads and railways vanish under snow and ice. Society becomes local and self-sufficient. Long-distance trade is rare and perilous. News travels slowly, becoming legend by the time it arrives. Yet culture endures. Stories, music, and art reflect the new world. Myths grow around the ice sheets, seen as living gods or sleeping giants. Community bonds strengthen. Survival depends on cooperation. Life is harder, but more connected to the rhythms of nature. An ice age is not forever. After tens of thousands of years, Earth's orbit shifts and the Great Thaw begins. Glaciers retreat, unleashing floods that reshape continents. Land rebounds, new rivers and lakes form, and fertile ground emerges from beneath the ice. Pioneer plants and animals reclaim the land, followed by forests and migrating herds. Sea levels rise, flooding old coastlines and land bridges. Humanity emerges from underground, migrating north to settle the new world. It's an age of exploration and renewal, a renaissance for the human spirit. Having survived the ultimate test, we are changed, hardier, wiser, and more humble. The cycle is complete, and Earth is ready for its next warm chapter. The story of ice and time continues, ever changing, ever renewing.